Good morning, Vande Matram. Welcome all of you. So this morning we are going to discuss a beautiful topic that is on God and man, human relationship with God, relation of man with God. That is the topic of discussion for this morning. It is a glorious topic. Of course, we don't know who really we are, how God is represented, how we are identified with the God, what is the common relation of human being with God, and that is of course an obscure equation for a human being till now, people who are leading the ordinary life. Of course, when we get elevated in consciousness, then actually we get some hints who really we are, what for our souls have come here, what is the mission, what is the vision of the divine, and what really the planning of God with respect to human being. That's what we get a glimpse whenever the consciousness is elevated. Again, we must know it is the minimum requirement for the God to know who really the gods and what is the real true relation of God with man, human relation with God. That is the topic of discussion. We are going to discuss everything from both mother's and the master's philosophy. So again, initially we must know what is the aim of our lives. Here in the quotes beautifully what is the aim of our aim, what is aim, how it is realized, how it is, the aim is defined. Aim of our life, we know only the divine, nothing but the divine, only the divine, and nothing but the divine is our end, and this is the aim and of course our goal. Anyway, when describing and defining, of course, this aim, Sri Aurobindo quotes beautifully, the laurel and not the cross should be the aim of the conquering human soul. Conquering human souls, here Sri Aurobindo does not tell about the ordinary people who are staying in the ordinary consciousness. People are ordinary, of about not describing of the ordinary souls. Sri Aurobindo here this fantastically, Sri Aurobindo defines the aim of the conquering human soul. Conquering human soul, his aim is thus it must be the laurel and not the cross. Anyway, while describing this path, this yoga and the method, the object, we know divine is the goal, divine is the object, and everything for the spiritual seeker, especially those who are pursuing the integral yogic method, divine is all for them. Anyway, mother quotes, to be conscious about God on this earth is the aim of our life, is the object of our life. To be conscious of the God in this world is the aim of our life. The thing is that how we are, how much we are conscious, and how we are related in our elevated consciousness, and where really stands our consciousness, how it has gone, how in the process of evolution. That is the topic, that is the point we have to discuss in brief. Of course, we must know. Here's here in mother quotes, to be conscious about the divine, to be conscious about the divine on this earth is the aim of our life. But thing is that we just deviate, we don't know what is really the goal. Anyway, we are mad after this material stages. We are mad after matter, this family, this income, this money, this home building, material comfort, everything we are mad after. Thing is just imagine what is the aim of your life. So to become a doctor, engineer, or to hold a very good job. Then after some time, what is your next, after achieving your goal? Then what next? Then we want to go get a secured and good job. That is done. Then what is your object? I want to get married, a beautiful wife, and my children and all. Then what? Then like the life is gone, life is squeezed, because they don't see anymore what really the real aim of life. And at that time actually your age will be around 25 to 30, around one third, only one third of the age is past, and the two third of the age remains still to be covered up, and there is no aim. But of course the aim of life, we aimless life is a miserable life. Again, Sri Aurobindo quotes beautifully, the object of the life is the to discover the divine God and to serve the discover the divine and to serve the divine. That is the object. That is the aim of the aim of the life. So what we have to do, two ways, two things, mother quotes. To discover God, discover means he is there, very much prominent. It is very much sure that his presence is very much clear. And the thing is that we have to discover him and we have to serve him. That is what. Then is this God, where is really he is? He is not somewhere in the Golok, Saket, Vaikuntha, Kailas or somewhere, Vatican City or anywhere. He is not at all there. And where is he? He is inside us, in the deepest, in depth, in the deepest position of our heart. He is there. He is actually in our all our thoughts, our experience. We must overtake this. If we can be able to overtake our thoughts, our experiences. He, because he is beyond everything. His existence is beyond all our thoughts and experience. So this is what we have to do. Yeah, how he is related to human being, all our peace, our certainty, even our pain and suffering. For the solution of our pain and suffering, about our peace and our certainty, he is always and definitely he is connected to our everything. Means he is connected. He is clearly in touch with our peace, our certainty, our pain and suffering. So we have got our problems. We have got our own miseries, agonies, and problems. So, mother course, you just try to give your problems, your tensions, everything you give, and he will save you against every obstacles. What are your dangers? What is your problems? That will be sorted out and solved by them. Again, mother, beautiful quotes, beautiful quotes. The true aim of life is to realize the true self who is hidden in the inmost depth of our being. And again, you must surrender. We must surrender near him, and our the entire objective, entire responsibility, we must surrender with at the hand of the divine. And whatever activities we are doing, and whatever thought we have, everything will be carried out by the divine. That is what the mother quotes. And the with this surrender, with this of course, with this discovery, with this surrender, with this submission, then what will happen? One true and one luminous aim will be spread, will blossom before us. So for that, actually, we have to give you ourselves. Again, mother quotes beautifully. So the object of life, what is the object? That to inquire, of course, to discover God, where he really is. And after discovering, we must realize what really the life is, because without the divine, life is a painful illusion. With the divine, life is bliss. So first of all, we have to make up our mind. We have to pursue this path. We have to go for the quest of the, of course, discover the divine who is very much prominent, very much active, present inside us. And thereafter, we have to realize the presence of the divine. Anyway, again, how will again, next question comes. Sometimes people keep asking questions. What is the style of the capable living style, the comfortable living style, or the real style of living? How still mother quotes it beautifully. To get united with the divine, to get united to the divine, or there must be your overwhelming interest. Actually, there must be impetus. There must be very much. Actually, you must be mad, of course, to get united with the divine. And this type of position, this type of activity, this type of attitude is the true cause of the real living. Again, mother quotes. Then what we are here for? The aim of life, object of life. What really we are here for? Mother Course, this comfortable life is not our goal. We are not here to lead the comfortable life. Then what you are here for? We are here to live, to know the divine, to become the divine, and to manifest the divine. Here it is not our game, not our probably especially people who are a little bit conscious, they will be in a position to know not the pleasure, this material pleasure, that is not the goal. Actually, in ordinary life people get busy with performing their duties, but spiritual life, the object of the spiritual life is to realize the divine. Again, don't bother course. Comfortable life is not the goal. Our life, our objective is the perfection. Mother course, becoming happy, to be happy, never live to become happy, that is not the objective. But thing is that, try to serve the divine, only to serve the divine, and actually you will feel that the pleasure that is beyond your expectation in the service while serving the divine, while spending all entire life for the service of the divine. You will find a pleasure, and that is incredible, you can't imagine, unimaginable. That is what the Sri Mother Course. Again, so we are not here to have the that personal nirvana and the moksha. Of course, we have seen in the earlier pages, Mother Course nirvana, sure, in the, and it is our, up to our philosophy, nirvana is a totally is a negation. So it is not the inquiring and questing and moving after this, doing sadhana for the nirvana is not the for personal nirvana. We are not here to perform the personal nirvana, or we are not actually mad after it. Then what is our thing? We must have the complete surrender near the divine. That is what the expectation. Again, we'll go a little bit on describing the object of life, what is been described by Sri Aurobindo beautifully. What is the object of the real life? That's what's here in the course here, in a very clear cut manner. The object of life here in the course. The object of life is the growth of the soul, nothing else. Just imagine, Sri Aurobindo does not quote about our mind, life, and body. The object of life is the growth of the soul, not any outward success of the hour or even the near future. That's what we are very much interested in, to get the immediate, get the outward success at present or in the near future. That's what in the course, that is not the object. Our object, true object, is the growth of the soul. So soul here has come here into this earth for the two, that purpose is to gain experience, then to progress and develop. Again, normally what we do, growth, we want to go grow. But so this growth, Sri Aurobindo has categorically defined growth, but the growth of the spirit in nature, not the personal growth. Means I will do something, I will become something, I will achieve something, I will have some 2 or 3 buildings, I will have some plenty of bank balance, like this. Not like this. Growth, not the growth of the, but the growth of the spirit in nature, that can affirming and developing itself in mind, life, and the body. That is what the requirement. Again, what is our next possession? What we use? Possession. We will possess everything. That quota will be there. We will have everything. We will possess. We will encircle our point. We will definitely will secure our land. Like this, many things. Here in the course, possession, but the possession by the divine of the divine, possession by the divine of the divine, but not the possession of the land which one we have purchased. That is not, and of course we are fencing it. We are feeling that it is secure. Possession, but not the possession by the divine, of the divine in all things, not of things that are for the own sake of the, by the desire of the ego, not to satisfy the ego, not to go for the possession of your own, not to be narrow-minded. But thing is that that possession must be there, but a possession by the divine, of the divine in all things. That is what the requirement. Again, enjoyment. Normally we enjoy. We have enjoyment is not a small term for us, because we keep enjoying. But steer in the course here, that enjoyment is necessary. But what enjoyment you are here so far, this sadhana is, sadhaka is concerned, and your process of sadhana is concerned. Enjoyment, but the enjoyment of the divine ananda in the universe. Enjoyment of the divine ananda in the universe. Again, the object of the spiritual seekings, we have got our seekings, we have got our desires, we have got our greed, and it is there. But mother here in the quotes here, the object of the spiritual seeking is to find out what is eternally true. Eternally true, the object of spiritual seeking is to find that is what is eternally true. Eternally true, it was true in the previous births, from the time immemorial, it is true now, and it will be true. That is only the divine, nothing else. But not that what is true in time, that is not the requirement, that is not the seeking. The only seeking what is eternal true. Our one objective must be the divine himself. After many times, many steps, many formats, mother in the final records, our only objective is must be the divine himself, to whom, knowingly or unknowingly, to whom, knowingly or unknowingly, something always aspires in the secret nature. That aspiration from us, from inside, from our secret nature, this aspiration is going, and the aspiration is going for the divine himself. That is the object, that must be the object, and that is should be the object, not the ordinary growth or ordinary possession, ordinary enjoyment. Object of spiritual life, everything is centering and around the divine. Next step comes, the very next step comes, what is the relationship of human being with the divine? That is the point of discussion, that is very categorically here in the course. Man and God and man, that is what the topic of discussion for this now. We have known objective, we have known aim, we know the purpose, growth, enjoyment, satisfaction, everything is there, possession, everything we have. Little by little we have little bit unknown. Now itself we want to go for the next point of the discussion, that is God and man. Here in the course, God leads man while he is misleading himself. It is true, it is true, very much true, that to err is human. It is a common proverb. To err is human, to forgive is divine. Here mothers goes, here Sri Aurobindo of course goes many steps ahead. To forgive is divine. Here not to forgive, because father and mother, they don't want to forgive anybody. They want to create, and they want to create up to a, and take carry you up to a level, up towards the, in the path of evolution towards the perfection. Here, in the course, God leads man while he is misleading himself. The characteristic of man, he is in the ignorance, he is inside the inconscience. He is always, his tendency is to mislead himself. So when man is misleading himself, then God come down, his force come down to lead him again. If we would understand God, very interestingly, very top things here in the course. If you would understand God, we must renounce our egoistic and ignorant human standards, which we are really living. Human standards, it is actually packed with egoistic and ignorant human standards. And if we are able, capable, or anyway we understand God, then will definitely these egoistic and ignorant human standards will be renounced. That is the precondition. Or else, if it is not renounced, then what will be there? Ennoble and universalize them. So the condition is that we have some human standards. Human standards, how what is that is egoistic and ignorant, because we don't know what really the God is. We don't understand what really the God is. Once we are capable of understanding really what God is, then actually two ways will work: renounce, first renounce, or ennoble or universalize. What? Our egoistic and ignorant human standards, it must be renounced, or it must be ennoble or universalized. Again, Sri Aurobindo goes one more step ahead. Man becomes God, and all human activity reaches its highest and noblest. Again, man becomes God. Second step, human activity reaches its highest and noblest when it succeeds in bringing body, heart, and mind in touch of the spirit. So that is the condition, that is the only condition. Mind, life, and body, mind, and heart, it will be in touch with the spirits. When man succeeds in doing this, then the condition, there is a chance man becomes God, and all human activity reaches the highest and noblest. Again, I will quote, it is a beautiful sentence and a beautiful message, and of course that is the real truth. Very much, very interesting, and very alchemy, packed with alchemy materials are packed, and that idea is packed here. Again, we'll see man becomes God, and all human activity reaches its highest and noblest when it succeeds in bringing body, heart, and mind into the touch of the spirit. So, anyway, see here we have discussed something. Now itself we will go to know little bit in the terms of the mother, how really he is defining the God. Truly, God is like this. When actually to whom you are man is aspiring, you are aspiring within the going into the in-depth position. So in deep, only being concentrated, one single with the single wish, only with the deepest aspiration to whom man aspires, he is God. And again, God is actually perfection. But of course, God is perfection to whom to realize actually we must aspire. We must aspire to realize the divine. Actually, that is the true aim and true objective of our life. Anyway, it is a very nice topic. We must know that God is inside us, inside the human being. So this actually man is a transitional being. It is a connecting link between the demigod and the beast. Many steps, have been crossed in the process of evolution. Here we are here in the human step. We claim here so far the finest animal. But thing is that we have to go a long way because it is only a middle step where we are standing. So we must know three steps. We are our real identity here on the human world, because many birds have gone, many birds are forthcoming, they are about to come, and here we are only in the transitional state. We must know what's here in the course. We are the sons of God and must be even as he. His human person, we must grow divine. Our life is a paradox with God for key. Definitely, this is the right thing at the right moment we are here. And for that, Mother and Sri Aurobindo, they explained we have come here to raise the world to God in deathless light. This world is fallen, it has to be raised. In the deathless light, light will be there but without death. Second, our to bring God down to the world on earth, we came. The raised world, we have raised the world. To this erased world and the raised world, God must be. We are here to bring down God into that world which is now fallen. It has to be elevated, where light will be there, but it will be deathless. And to this glaring, perplexed, and this raised world, God must be brought up, and for that we have come. Not only that, to change the earthly life to life divine. So this is the objective human relation and with God, and we are here, Mother and Master Course. We are here to materialize because God is actually hidden. The seed of Godhead sleeps in the human breast. That's what Mother has quoted. In being wrapped up, they have come, they have hidden behind, they are left behind or hidden their eternity, immortality, in their greatness, and the sacrifice. Their sacrifice is actually divine sacrifice. It is they are being wrapped up, they have come back in order to carry man to the divinity is how it. Thank you, Vande Mataram.